I'm feeling really good. We've had a series of meets leading up where I felt like we've been building on successes. This past weekend, we had a little bit of a challenge, but I think it was a great way to refocus coming into the conference meet. I'm feeling like our chances of finishing top three in the conference are high. It's going to be very close between us and KP, and I think St. Joe's Long Island on both men and women's teams. So it's really going to come down to who wants it. My approach has been to take them to some high-profile meets, put them kind of in a small fish, big pond kind of situation. I'm hoping that going to some of the larger meets that we have this season, when we get to conference, it's not going to feel as oppressive, from a depth of team standpoint. I think they'll feel a little bit more comfortable. It's going to feel like one of our early season meets that were smaller, and hopefully, they're just feeling confident in how they've ran over the season. I mean, you can race the same team week in, week out, and if they beat you all the times that you race them, does it really help you going into conference? I think sometimes, not having a set expectation of how you're going to compete against a team can really help. And that's really kind of why I haven't raced the conference teams. Plus, in years past, all we've ever done is race the conference teams. So I honestly, as a coach, I've just been trying to expand, their horizon in terms of like what all kinds of teams are out there, what kind of competitions out there. It's strategically designed to kind of open their eyes and hopefully, create more hard work and effort, going forward. To be honest with you, my kids 2 years ago, they said, "Coach, when you go to schedule, please don't take us to Hudson Valley Sports Dome." They don't like the course. They know it's challenging. There's some steep hills. It can be muddy. I think at the end of the day, they would rather leave it to a 1 or 2 off. We're going to be going there for ECACs, so they felt like 2 times this year is enough. We'll see if not actually running the course, helps or hurts us this year. I'm kind of rolling the dice. Yeah, so if you ask me, I personally don't like preseason rankings. I feel like they can go one way or another. I like that the girls were an underdog last year. I think we all were surprised as the season went, but my message to them was, we're going to do big things. You guys just have to realize that, we're competitive. And every week it seemed like we got better and we did bigger and better things. We got some trophies early on in the season. We finished high, against some teams that we thought were going to beat us. So, for my men, they're facing a very tough Merchant Marine team this year. Their goal is to race them to the best of their level, see if we can hang with them, and ultimately continue to beat the teams that we beat last year. And I think for the girls, it's the same thing. We just don't want to get beat by anybody that we beat last year. St. Joe's wasn't ranked the favorite this year. If we can hold them off, I think that'll be a huge success. And if we somehow beat Merchant Marines women's, then I think that's going to just be another historic year in the books. We've obviously had the goal of finishing, in the top 2 of the conference. We've talked about winning the conference. That's always been kind of an expectation or at least a goal to strive for. I've kind of honed in on, when our runners have got runner of the week. I've honed in on when some of them have broken, our top 10 all times record list, broken into it or advanced their times on the list. We've tried to just kind of work on the day-to-day. That's kind of been where our successes come from. I've told them to just focus on what they can do day-to-day and take care of themselves, and everything will fall into place. So I consider it a success, if we either remain the same in the conference or we just put forth our best effort and see where the chips lie. I mean, you always want to bring back hardware. Ultimately, you never know how hard another team's working and, whether or not they're going to surprise you. So hopefully there's no crazy surprises. Hopefully we just lay it all out there, have our best race on Sunday, and, hopefully things end up the way I'm hoping.